2, 3, 4.
First tonight on our news live at 7, no date set just yet. The Public Service Minister says training and consultations must be completed before the launch of bi-monthly payments for public service workers. Plus, the first of 2 fatal incidents on the streets of the capital, claiming the life of a 39-year-old motorcyclist. And then the theater community mourns the loss of an award-winning playwright, producer, and director. We remember the life of Gia Pierre. And then in our news at 7:30, a mother behind bars tonight after neighbors intervened to save her child's life. They say they were alerted by the baby's screams. The shocking details on this story and more as our news live at 7 starts now. Welcome to our news live at 7. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. I'm Megan Shepard. While the Davis administration has yet to set a date for the rollout of bi-monthly payments for public service workers, while preparations are ongoing, Labor and Public Service Minister Pierre says technical training and consultations must be completed before a launch can be finalized. Our Delvado Emmanuel has the latest.
We are still in the process of training. Our Oracle Fusion and our Oracle iCloud Bahamas is in the process of training our technical officers throughout the Ministry of Public Service and the Ministry of Finance. And as that is completed, then we have more stakeholder meetings.
Public servants expecting to receive semi-monthly payments will have to wait a little longer, as no official date has been set for the rollout. The Ministry of Finance will be responsible for determining when the new system takes effect. Minister of Labor and Public Service Pierre Rose says the transition remains in progress, but final details are still being worked out. The Labor Minister says a survey was distributed to gauge interest in the payment change. Rose adds the bi-monthly payment option is voluntary.
The survey isn't completed because we still have to meet with a final Congress and we want to get their views. The meetings that we've had so far has been overwhelmingly positive towards shifting to the semi-monthly payments.
But there's only one hold-up according to the minister, a meeting with a key player.
We will continue to talk to the stakeholders, one more Congress that we need to meet with, and once we've done that, then we'll have an analysis.
Reporting for our news, I'm Delvado Emmanuel.
All right, thanks for that update, Delvado. Well, there's at least one union that's not happy with the proposed bi-weekly payments. Coming up on our news at 7:30, Bahamas National Alliance Trade Union Congress President Belinda Wilson responds to the Public Service Minister. Be sure to stay tuned for that. Police have another attempted suicide investigation on their hands. An elderly Abaco man is in hospital after police say he allegedly tried to kill himself early Sunday morning. According to reports, the 79-year-old was at his Church Street home in Pelican Shores when he allegedly stabbed himself in the abdomen with a sharp object. He was found by a family member around 7 a.m. Police and medics were called to the scene. The elderly man was taken to the Marsh Harbor Health Center, where he was treated by the local doctor, but due to the seriousness of his injuries, he was airlifted to New Providence. His current condition is listed as stable. And coming up on our news at 7:30, our Jasmine Brown sits down with an attempted suicide survivor who shares his story of healing and hope. A man who admitted to shacking up with a runaway minor has been jailed for 1 year. 26-year-old Alex Simmons pleaded guilty to abduction of an unmarried teen at his arraignment before Assistant Chief Magistrate Carolyn Vo Evans. The court heard that the 16-year-old girl packed up her belongings and left her mother's home on February 14th after an argument over uncompleted chores. She told police that she went to Simmons, who she called her boyfriend. She stayed with Simmons until he was arrested on March 18th. Simmons and the girl admitted to sex while they were living together. Although the now 17-year-old could give consent to having sex as a minor, she could not legally live with Simmons. Only 7 countries met World Health Organization air quality standards last year, and the Bahamas was one of them. According to figures compiled by a Swiss air quality monitoring firm, IQ Air, Australia, New Zealand, Barbados, Grenada, Estonia, and Iceland were the only other countries to meet the standard. Data also showed Chad and Bangladesh were the world's most polluted countries in 2024, with average smog levels more than 15 times higher than WHO guidelines. Many developing countries have relied on air quality sensors mounted on U.S. embassy and consulate buildings to track their smog levels. But experts are warning that the war on smog would only get harder after the United States shut down its global monitoring efforts. A 39-year-old man is dead after losing control of his motorcycle and crashing on Soldier Road early this morning. It was the first of 2 fatal incidents involving vehicles today. Traffic investigators say they were called to the area around 2 a.m. Briefing reporters this morning was Assistant Superintendent of Police Demetria Capron.
A male rider of a motorcycle, a red and white Honda 650 motorcycle, was traveling south on Soldier Road when, for some unknown reason, he lost control of his motorcycle and collided into a lamp pole located on the western side of Soldier Road. He sustained serious injuries, which proved fatal on the scene this morning.
Police said the victim was not wearing a helmet, an all too common theme we've seen this with traffic fatalities involving motorcycles over the years. Officers are once again encouraging all motorists to follow road traffic laws, as it could save your life.
The message of road safety still continues. We're imploring our motorcyclists to please wear your helmet. We are imploring you to drive within the speed limits, and we're imploring all motorists, please wear your seatbelts. The seatbelts and the helmets are to save your lives. We're asking you not to run the traffic lights and to drive with due care and attention for yourself and other road users, including the pedestrians.
And just hours after this crash, police were back on the scene of another deadly vehicle crash, this time on Jean Street. Well, her name became synonymous with the local Grand Bahama theater community. Her talents so extraordinary, catapulting her nationally and even into some international scenes. But on Sunday morning, executive members of the Freeport Players Guild, a part of the Regency Theater on Grand Bahama, got the shocking news of Gia Pierre's death.
Help me welcome the CEO of Out of the Ashes Entertainment, our writer, director, and executive producer, Miss Gia Pierre!
Gia Pierre has accumulated many awards throughout her career, and she's held many titles, from writer to producer and director. But what many recall most about her was her ability to bring comedic relief to real-life situations. Playwright and past president of the Players Guild, Sue Lynn McCrae, has known Pierre since the start. Her mother taught her as a student and immediately helped to hone her talents.
My mother was very impressed with her talent at writing poems. She's an amazing comedic poet. And so she encouraged her. And she started writing poems and going into competitions.
Charles LaRota, a part of the board of directors, also helping to mentor Pierre during the 80s. He recalled her natural talent to create entertaining poetry out of any situation. He says her talents will be missed from the stage.
Gia was a treasure. Gia was an extraordinary talent. And she, I don't know, one of a kind, definitely one of a kind. She will be sorely missed. And she was always so humble, so feet on the ground.
President of Freeport Players Guild Chris Russell says, although Pierre could be demanding at times, it was only because she was passionate and always wanted to present the best product, something that drew audiences from all walks of life.
Through her writing, she was actually able to introduce a lot of people to theater who may not have otherwise come and seen any shows. That's the kind of talent she was.
Pierre's last stage play, March On, was so well received that the show remained on tour well beyond the 2023 50th anniversary of independence. Since then, she was working on a new play titled The Playbook. Lighting engineer and designer at the Regency Theatre, Sean Thompson II, says they were in the planning stages of bringing the play to life, as she had already secured the theatre for May.
And her last show, which was about Bahamas independence, toured, I think, even United States. They did some shows in the U.S. as well. So she's very well known right now. And so it's going to be a huge loss for the lesbian community. And I don't see anyone close to even replacing the talent that Gia had with writing, where she could grasp audience and the type of following she had. So it's just a huge loss. So devastating.
All right, well, it's time now for your first look at temperatures. Meteorologist Greg Thompson is standing by in the Weather Center. Greg, happy Monday. What are we looking like for the week?
Monday, we are expecting a front, so we could see some showers by midweek. And once that front goes through, we could see some breezy conditions for the end of the week. But we've been having some really nice weather, a little on the warm side this evening. 80 degrees is our current temperature with a few clouds on the outside. The winds are out of the east-southeast at 10 miles per hour. Feels like temperature is at 78. Temperatures around the islands right now. It's 77 in Freeport, Grand Bahama, also in Marshall, Abaco, Alistown, Bimini, also 77. 78, Great Harbour Key, the Berry Islands. Pick up a string of 80s in Nicholstown, Andros, Governor's Harbour, and here in the capital. Central Bahamas, 80 in Kemps Bay, Georgetown, Deadman's Key. 78s, Arthurstown, Cat Island, Copeland Townsend, Salvador, and into the southeast Bahamas. 79, Duncantown, Ragged Island, Colonel Hill, Crooked Island, Delectable Bay, Acklands, 78 in Abrahams Bay, and a warm spot down to deep south, Masritani, Nagua, and Providenciales, Turks, and Caicos Islands. Sideline radar composite, ridge of high pressure at the surface and aloft, still dominating our weather, and that continued to provide us with some warm temperatures. Winds now out of the southeast across the northwest Bahamas, so we're pumping in that warm air mass. We're looking for some warmer temperatures tonight as well. We'll be watching a cluster of showers and thunderstorms, the tail end of a front that we expect to get near by tomorrow. That front is expected to sag into the central Bahamas. There's an upper level disturbance that could enhance some showers and thunderstorms, so we're looking at the possibility for some strong thunderstorms by late Tuesday into Wednesday. That's your first look at weather. A look at your extended forecast is still to come.
Coming up in sports, today in sports history, Rick Fox continues a standout senior season and heads into the Elite Eight against Temple. Spoiler alert, he won.
Hey, Greg Thompson here, and thank you for watching. Be sure to hit that follow button. And if you want to see more content like this, follow all of our news social media pages. And hey, don't forget to turn on your notifications so you never miss out on the top stories from the team you already trust.
Calling all Alive Fiber basketball fans. Get ready to experience the NBA Finals live. You can enter an all-expense-paid trip to not one, but two NBA Finals games. It's simple. Just sign up for our Alive NBA League Pass or Infinite Sports X package by May 16th. Stay connected, enjoy blazing fast internet, and score your chance to witness the NBA action up close. Don't miss out. Visit AliveFiber.com and take your shot at NBA glory. Terms and conditions apply. It's good to be alive.
Welcome to Our Sports at 7, presented by 10th year seniors. I'm Ronaldo Dorset. That's John Marknut. Let's do show. Back in the days before he was an ambassador, before he was cast as eye candy for aunties everywhere, even before the run with the Lakers, the Kingsway Academy Saints' greatest athlete once ruled the NCAA tournament. On this date in 1991, Rick Fox led his North Carolina Tar Heels to the Final Four with a 75-72 win over the Temple Owls in the Elite Eight in East Rutherford, New Jersey. Fox finished with a team-high 19 points, 7 rebounds, and 5 assists. The Tar Heels came up short in the Final Four in a loss to Kansas, but it was the culmination of a standout senior season for Fox when he was named first-team All-ACC and ACC Tournament MVP. In the regular season, he averaged 17 points per game, and during the tournament run, averaged 14 points and 5 boards. He went on to be drafted 24th overall by the Boston Celtics in the 91 draft, but we know this audience in particular remembers him most for his 7-year run with the LA Lakers.
That was back then. Here's what's coming up in our sports tonight. Bahamians advanced to the Sweet 16 on both the men's and women's side.
You know, it's satisfaction because I really enjoy coaching this team, and this team has had a goal that they want to go to the Final Four. And we don't get to stop tonight. And we will be one of the remaining 16 teams.
We recap the 2025 Track and Field High School Nationals, check in on the latest with the JUCO Basketball National Championships, and Speedy Stevie is back.
That'll do it for our sports at 7. Stay tuned to our news at 7:30 for details on these stories and more.
He was eye candy for the aunties and the nieces. Thanks so much, Ronaldo and John. They came, they ran, they conquered. The Cable Bahamas Dragons dominated the company's sports day in Grand Bahama over the weekend, showing that the company does more than just offer television, phone, and internet service. On Saturday, employees in the Second City kicked off the second annual Sports Day festivities with a series of events, including track and field and crowd pleasers like Walking with a Lime and Tug of War. These employees did not hesitate to share which house they were repping.
We placed second last year, but we're here for the gold this year, all right? First place, that's the only thing we're taking home today.
We came out and then we became undefeated in our drag pulling race. And then, you know, we kind of fell down in the line, the walk-in line, but we picked it up in the guys. So I'm excited to see what we have to offer today.
We won the first day last year, and we're going to do it again today. We're actually trending to win today. So far, we've won 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 races. We're trending to win. Go Sharks!
Go Sharks. Here's how the score shaped up so far. The Dragons scored 315 points, followed by the Sharks with 278 points and the Falcons with 205 points. Those scores will be added to scores racked up at the company's new Providence Sports Day that's slated for next month. Vice President of Human Resources and Customer Experience, Edward Duncombe, shares why the event is so important.
It's an exciting time for us to come together as a company, but also to have some friendly competition between the three houses. Last year's champions were the Sharks, followed closely by my house, the Dragons, and in third place were the Falcons. And so hopefully we'll be able to dethrone the Sharks. But again, a lot of good fun, camaraderie, and really coming together so we can look at teamwork and how we grow and build organizations.
When our news comes back from the break, we turn our spotlight to stories making headlines across the world. As a Russian missile strike in Ukraine injured 65, including 14 children. Plus, Pope Francis making his first public appearance in 5 weeks on Sunday. We've got the scenes from that hospital window. And from the region, residents of Port-au-Prince say they continue to live in fear of organized crime. We'll tell you why when our news returns.
All Alive Fiber basketball fans, get ready to experience the NBA Finals live. You can enter an all-expense-paid trip to not 1, but 2 NBA Finals games. It's simple. Just sign up for our Alive NBA League Pass or Infinite Sports X package by May 16th. Stay connected, enjoy blazing fast internet, and score your chance to witness the NBA action up close. Don't miss out. Visit AliveFiber.com and take your shot at NBA glory. Terms and conditions apply. It's good to be alive.
At RBC, we're proud.
This is Our News. Welcome back. We turn our attention now to stories making headlines across the world. A Russian missile strike on a residential area in Ukraine injured 65, including 14 children. Ukraine's prosecutor's office said that Russia launched a missile strike on a densely populated residential quarter of the city of Sumy. A number of apartment buildings and an educational institution were damaged, authorities said. The attack came just hours before a United States delegation met with Kremlin negotiators in Saudi Arabia, where the Trump administration is pushing for progress toward a ceasefire in separate talks with Russia and Ukraine. New Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney calling a snap election for April 28th. Carney says he needs a strong mandate to deal with the threat that U.S. President Donald Trump's tariffs pose to the economy. Although the next election was not due until October 20th, Carney is hoping to capitalize on a remarkable recovery by his Liberal Party in the polls since January. That's when Trump began threatening Canada, and former Prime Minister Justin Trudeau announced his resignation. London's Heathrow Airport reopened Saturday, but travelers are being warned of significant delays as airlines scramble to resume flights and return stranded passengers. Europe's busiest airport was closed for most of Friday after a power outage following a fire at a nearby electrical substation, causing over 800 flights to be canceled in and out of the airport, according to flight tracking site FlightAware. National Grid said Saturday that power supply had been restored to all customers, including Heathrow, allowing operations to resume. Pope Francis made his first public appearance in 5 weeks on Sunday from a hospital window. It came shortly before he returned to the Vatican following his hospitalization for a severe respiratory infection that became the most serious health crisis of his 12-year papacy. Fiona Jones reports.
Shortly before leaving Rome's Gemelli Hospital, he made his first public appearance from a balcony at the facility, while emotional well-wishers cheered from below. A car carrying the pontiff was accompanied by police vehicles through Rome. It made a short detour for him to bring flowers to the Basilica of St. Mary Major, a church to which Francis has a special devotion and visits frequently. Joshua McElwee is Reuters' Vatican correspondent.
The Vatican said he went into the Basilica briefly to pray. He was then brought back toward the Vatican. He has now gone back to the Vatican, to the Casa Santa Marta where he lives. His doctors have said he will require a further 2 months of rest to recuperate and to recover. As he's 88 years old, he has other health conditions, and it will take time for his body to fully heal.
During Pope Francis' appearance, he thanked Carmela Vittoria Mancuso, who arrived every morning during his hospitalization with yellow flowers. Mancuso, who had prayed for him nightly, expressed her relief.
Contenta, gioiosa.
Happy, joyful. I don't know. My heart was bursting. I didn't think I would feel this way.
Under medical orders of rest, it's unclear how much activity Francis will undertake in the coming months.
Well, just days after prosecutors in the United States charged powerful Haitian gang leader Johnson Izo Andre with taking a U.S. citizen hostage in Haiti, residents of Port-au-Prince say they continue to live in fear of organized crime. In recent years, Haiti's violent gangs have significantly expanded their control over territory in the Caribbean island nation. Haiti is among 40 countries the U.S. government is considering imposing travel restrictions on as a part of U.S. President Donald Trump's crackdown on immigration. Still to come in Our News, today in history, find out interesting facts about the day that was March 24th. And then in Our News at 7:30, within hours of a fatal motorcyclist accident on Soldier Road, police were back on the scene of another deadly vehicle crash. Plus, the Foreign Affairs Minister calling for a third runway and a bigger airport here in the capital. This after experiencing a 3-hour delay at LPIA. That's coming up when Our News returns.
Each week, we go into the heart of our second city and talk to the people helping to shape this community.
This is what makes me happy to come to work every day, to know that I'm helping someone.
These are the faces of the Grand Bahama Port Authority, helping to maintain infrastructure, grow the economy, and bring a better quality of life.
Our mission statement is to better the life.
Because I have to be a part of Grand Bahama.
Join me at Talia Hall every Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. right here on Our News as we share these inspiring stories of Freeport. Stay with the team you already trust.
Bulk up your business and communication with parents, students, and staff in seconds with a live business bulk SMS messaging. This is the perfect tool to keep you connected and easily send important updates, event reminders, and emergency alerts. Keep your campus informed and connected with bulk SMS messaging from a live business. The right choice for fast, reliable communication. For more information, contact the experts.
On this day in Bahamian history in 1771, William Shirley died in Roxbury, Massachusetts. Shirley was governor of these islands from 1760 to 1768. Shirley Street in downtown Nassau is named after him. Fast forward to 1940 when Frank Watson was born in Gordons, Long Island. Watson is a retired civil servant, former politician, cabinet minister, deputy prime minister, and deputy to the governor general. On March 25, 2010, a stretch of road from South Ocean Boulevard to Adelaide Road was named the Frank Watson Highway. Then in 1964, Richard George Dean died in Miami. Known by his stage name Sweet Richard, he was an entertainer, nightclub owner, limbo and fire dancer, and junkaneur. Born in Long Island, his talents would take him to perform in clubs locally and abroad. Often referred to as the King of Junkanoo, Percy Vola Francis addressing the Historical Society in 2018 on the life and times of Sweet Richard. Then in 2015, police found the lifeless body of well-known Australian podiatrist Philip Vasili in the dining room of his Old Fort Bay home. A week later, his wife Donna was arrested and charged. She was found guilty that year and sentenced to 20 years in prison. In 2017, the Court of Appeal quashed the sentence, leading to a retrial that ended in her acquittal just 2 weeks ago on March 10th by a 9-member jury. March 24th, 2016. As the Peter Nygard Louis Bacon Save the Bay's murder plot scandal captured national attention, then Prime Minister Perry Christie defended against claims he was corrupt, saying he would not allow his name or character to be tarnished.
Call me what you like, and they have. Assail me as you will, and they do. Attribute to me all the manner of transgressions that you wish. But the one thing, Mr. Speaker, I have tried to maintain is they could never credibly accuse me of being corrupt.
5 years later in 2021, then Tourism and Aviation Minister Dionisio de Aguilar telling Parliament government would purchase the Hurricane Dorian ravaged Grand Bahama International Airport from Port Holdings and Port Group Limited for $1. Government said the owners had shown no interest in restoring the airport despite the commitment to provide an international airport in the Hawksbill Creek Agreement. And finally, in 2022, on their final stop of their Royal Caribbean tour, the Bahamas welcomed the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge to Nassau on the occasion of the Queen's Platinum Jubilee. Prince William and Kate's visit also took them to Abaco in Grand Bahama, where several sites and businesses were highlighted. Their visit reigniting a decades-old slavery reparations debate across the region.
All right, to watch that historic recap again and for all of today's top stories, be sure to visit ournews.bs. That does it for our news at 7. Joining us now is our Jerome Sawyer with the latest headlines. Jerome, happy Monday.
Hi, Megan. Happy Monday. Good to be here. Good to see you. Busy news day for us, though.
Very busy day.
All right. Well, you know, my time here is limited. I'm just a fill-in guy. Well, thanks a lot, Megan. Well, ahead on our news at 7:30, an almost tragedy averted by a neighbor who jumped into action after hearing an infant screaming. Plus, the teachers union president and labor minister publicly disagree over how teachers should or should not be paid in the future. Here's a look at your latest headlines. Ahead on our news tonight at 7:30, a mother arrested and her baby taken into protective care after neighbors said they heard the screams and came to the infant's rescue. The neighbor who witnessed it all giving a first-hand account as we question police on possible charges. Inside the mind of someone battling thoughts of suicide. Tonight, an Our News special report as Jasmine Brown sits down with an attempted suicide survivor who opens up about his struggles and road to recovery. On a collision course, the Teachers Union president says more than 80% of her members want to remain on monthly salary payments. But the Labour Minister says government is moving forward with plans to make teachers' salaries bi-weekly. Hear what President Belinda Wilson is saying about it. Our News Live at 7:30 starts in just a moment.
Hey guys, Megan Shepherd here. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to hit that follow button if you'd like to see more content like this. Follow all of the Our News social media pages so you never miss out on the top stories from the team you already trust.
Inti Corporation is on the move, day by day, panel by panel. Our commitment to sustainable energy becomes more real. With each milestone, Inti redefines what is possible. Not only are the Lucayas solar power projects on the island of Grand Bahama growing in scale, they are setting a new standard for energy independence in the Bahamas. These state-of-the-art solar farms at the Fairfield and Devon sites, once completed, will harness the power of the sun to generate 9.5 megawatts of clean, sustainable energy. Inti is on the move as a beacon of progress and innovation that is rapidly transforming our energy landscape. Witness the future of sustainable energy unfolding on the island of Grand Bahama as Inti Corporation shines brighter than ever. Inti Corporation, powering your world, powering your future.
In the Bahamas, island time is real. The history of Morris Lumber Company, established in 1945, is etched into the fabric of this proud island nation. It's a story that deserves to be celebrated in full color, and that's where we come in. Morris the Paint Place has been bringing color and vitality to homes and businesses across the Bahamas. Here, color is more than just a hue, it's a symbol of life. Together, we can paint a brighter future.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Our News Live at 7:30. I'm Jerome Sawyer. Talia Hall has the night off. Well, a mother is behind bars tonight, facing child abuse charges, accused of assaulting her infant child in their Wolf Road home. Her neighbors telling Our News today she allegedly threw the baby across the room. Then came the heart-wrenching screams from the infant, which prompted the neighbors to act. Our Joshua Williams is leading off this half hour for us.
The incident allegedly occurred at a home on Palm Avenue off Wolf Road yesterday afternoon. Video obtained by Our News shows a woman being carried away in handcuffs. Neighbors who called the police spoke to me this morning, claiming they'd called after they allegedly stopped her from abusing her baby, who they say is only a few months old.
It looks as though she wanted to throw away the baby, and the landlord interfered and said, "You can't do that." She was going crazy, so she threw away the baby.
We reached out to the police for an official statement on the matter, but one wasn't provided up to news time. Still shaken up by what they witnessed, the neighbors say it's the first time something like this has happened. They say the mom had just moved in and was not well known in the community.
See what happened, the lady just moved in the night before. So, yeah, she just moved in, so nobody really knows. They don't know nothing about her.
Yesterday I saw her. I've never seen her in this area before.
Neighbors say the baby was taken from the scene by officers. So what happens next in cases like these? In an interview last week, the Department of Social Services Assistant Director told me about the process.
Oftentimes, children of that character or that characteristic, we normally place them into protective care, and by law, we have to place them in protective care, and they are sheltered at one of our residential care facilities, or if we know of family members who are willing to take these children in, we normally place them with family members because we do believe that children should be with families.
Lately, there have been several child-related incidents that have caused public outrage. Most recently, a fetus was found floating in a plastic bag near Ocean Key Estates. Reporting for Our News, I'm Joshua Williams.
Thanks for that story, Josh. Of course, we'll continue to follow and bring you the latest on that. The numbers show the problem is growing and rapidly. So far this year, the suicide rate is 2 less than all of last year and higher than the year before. Suicide and attempted suicide statistics point to an increasing mental health crisis in all ages. But what can drive someone to want to take their own life? And how do we prevent it or recover from an actual attempt? Well, tonight our Jasmine Brown shares the story of an attempted suicide survivor who opens up about his path to healing and recovery.
I can show you something. I spent 3 months in the hospital. You know what it is to do that? Man, I tell you, God is good. I don't see hell, so heaven gotta be real. I see the gates of hell. They checked the list. I wasn't on the list, thank God.
Years after trying to take his own life, Dexter Nemore still has the scars to remind him of that fateful day. The 62-year-old was a man whose life was spiraling out of control when he decided to take his own life more than a decade ago. The businessman, father, and husband had hit a rough patch in his life, losing his pest control business and home, living in abandoned cars and buildings, when he says he just couldn't face life's problems anymore.
Break one bottle one day and just I remember nothing. When I catch myself, it was 2 months later.
Nemore's decision to end his life is not an isolated incident. There have been dozens of others in recent years who've chosen a similar fate after being overcome by a sense of hopelessness, anxiety, depression, and other mental disorders. The country is seeing an alarming rise in the incidents. There were 8 suicides in 2024 and 6 in 2023. But so far this year, the country has already recorded 6 suicides and at least 3 attempted suicides. Nemore says he was lucky that in his situation, he had friends who were around when he tried to kill himself. Since that fateful day, he's gotten the help he needs and is helping others. Today, he's a resident and worker at Teen Challenge Bahamas. There, he helps other young men who are facing issues he's since conquered.
You know, this Teen Challenge, and we doing our best. We're doing the best, and we trying to help everybody. As more people we gotta help. Yes. Get them off the streets.
If you or someone you know is experiencing thoughts of suicide or crisis, call the National Hotline for Crisis Intervention at any of these numbers. Reporting for Our News, I'm Jasmine Brown.
Certainly an inspiring story of hope there for us tonight. Well, within hours of a fatal motorcycle accident on Soldier Road, police were back on the scene of another deadly vehicle crash. This one happening on Jean Street. That's off Prince Charles Drive, but police are stopping short of calling it a traffic fatality. They're looking into if the crash that killed him was not a fatality and are now classifying it as a death investigation. Family members at the scene telling Our News the victim suffers from a heart condition. The car crashing into bushes a few feet from the road. Officer in charge of the traffic division, Chief Superintendent Sabrina Porter, clarifying and sharing the preliminary findings with us.
Shortly before 8 a.m., police control room received a report that a male driver of a blue Nissan Sentra, he was traveling north on Jane Street when he varied to the western side of the street into a grassy area and subsequently collided into the fence of a residence at Ari Cooper Estates.
Now, family members identified the victim as 56-year-old Barry McCartney. Hours after he died, police issuing a statement classifying it as a death investigation. But for now, police encouraging more cautious driving.
We at the traffic police station are concerned with the amount of traffic fatalities and accidents that are occurring on our streets. So we appeal to the members of the public to always drive to arrive alive. There is no need for speed.
Over to some court news now. A man accused of threatening to kill police officers in a viral TikTok video is behind bars tonight for violating the conditions of his bail. London Ramming will spend 6 months behind bars after he admitted to skipping his mandatory police station check-ins while on bail for attempted murder. The case stems from an incident where Ramming allegedly live-streamed himself shooting a gun at home back in March of 2022. The 28-year-old did not sign in for 14 days while on bail. He's expected to be tried on June 2nd on allegations that he threatened 2 police officers on TikTok. Well, it's the beginning of the week, and certainly it means that there's lots of hope for good weather. We're always optimistic about the weather, but optimism certainly doesn't tell us what's going to happen. That's why we've got our meteorologist, Greg Thompson, who's standing by in the Weather Center with our first look at weather tonight. Greg, it's Monday. I need some good news weather-wise.
Good news. We have a front. We need some rainfall. We're in a slight drought. So
my grass is screaming for rain.
And then we've been having the fires, so we're trying to see.
Well, I got no fires. Just dry grass.
Yeah. But yeah, front is expected by tomorrow, so we should see some showers. But in the meantime, we're going to be a little on the warm side before that. 78 degrees outside our studios right now with a few clouds. East-southeast winds at 9 miles per hour. Feels like temperature is at 78. Satellite radar composite. This is the setup. We have some high-level clouds moving across us in the form of what we call some cirrus. Ridge of high pressure at the surface dominating our weather, but that will slide out towards the east. That's paving the way for a frontal boundary now moving across North Florida. If the thunderstorms in the Gulf of Mexico on the tail end of that, we expect that to move across the northwest Bahamas by late tonight and into tomorrow, and then we should see the front move in by tomorrow afternoon, swinging through the central Bahamas, so we're looking for a few strong thunderstorms possible with the front. That's your quick check on conditions around the island. Stick with us. Look at your extended forecast. It's still to come.
And still to come on our news tonight, while the Labour Minister says they are moving ahead with plans to pay teachers bi-weekly, the Teachers Union president says the majority of her members don't want it. And it has all of the elements of a family drama, lies and betrayals to deception and envy. Coming to the stage of the Regency Theatre, a new production the night before. That's coming up when our news returns.
Diet-friendly special.
Are you or a loved one under medical care? Do you need affordable medical supplies? Ports International is the largest home healthcare supplier. Medical supplies at the very best price, and you can even shop online. From hospital beds to wound care, wheelchairs to walkers, Ports is a one-stop shop for your medical supplies, and we accept insurance. We have online shopping and 2 locations to serve you, at the Airport Industrial Park and Shirley Street. We also ship to the Family Islands. Shop online and visit us on Facebook. Call Ports at 377-1771.
Once I had a gal, she called me pain. Left me in the cold and pouring rain. So I decided to put her down. I took a trip to Cowboy Town.
Wendy's and Coca-Cola is ready to give you a summer of fun with over $20,000 in cash and prizes. Upgrade your premium lunch combo to a medium or a large, or purchase a large salad with a Coke for a chance to win amazing prizes like a 50-inch TV and soundbar, a staycation at Comfort Suites, or a $3,000 Going Places travel voucher. Enter online at Wendy's Bahamas Facebook page for a chance to win.
Bahamas Union of Teachers is standing firm on its position regarding salary payments. In a statement sent to Our News Today, Union President Belinda Wilson reiterated that more than 80% of the membership surveyed want their salaries to remain on a monthly basis. Her response comes after Labor Minister Pia Glover-Roll announced that government is moving forward with a decision to alter monthly payments to bi-weekly. The minister explained, however, the employees have the option to choose their preferred payment method. Wilson says members of her union are opting out.
After I had a meeting with Prime Minister Davis a few weeks ago, the 26 questions were answered. Some of the answers directed us to other ministries, which gave rise to even more questions. I, along with Kimsley Ferguson, president of the BPSU, await our stakeholders meeting, and we want to ensure that all of the critical concerns and the technical issues are resolved. BUT is resolute in our position and our decision that we will like for our salaries to remain as monthly payments.
A 3-hour delay at LPIA prompts Foreign Minister Fred Mitchell to call for airport improvements. Mitchell, along with opposition leader Michael Pintard, were among passengers from Nassau to Grand Bahama delayed for 3 hours recently, even as NAN officials warned travelers of peak hour delays from the ongoing upgrades to runway 1432. Despite the warnings, Mitchell had this to say.
The airline did warn us in advance of crowded runways and possible delays, but the 3 p.m. flight to Freeport left and got into the air at 6:15 p.m., 3 hours and 15 minutes late. The airline said, and the airport operators confirmed, that the reason was the closure of the main runway because of an upgrade being done, and it won't be open again until Wednesday of this week. Us who don't know anything have been saying for years we need a third runway and we need a bigger airport, but what do we know?
It's now time for tonight's Financial Market Minute, brought to you by RF, your local investment bank. This has been your Financial Market Minute. To explore the best performing mutual funds in the Bahamas, visit our website at www.rfgroup.com.
When we come back from the break, it's a classic whodunit filled with lies, betrayal, deception, and envy. Coming to the stage of the Regency Theatre in Grand Bahama, it's a new production. The night before, we've got a preview of this new on-stage family drama.
Coming up in sports, we update you on the second round of the NCAA tournament, which school dominated high school nationals, JUCO March Madness, and Stephen Gardner makes his return.
Welcome to Paradise Games, where exceptional service meets the ultimate gaming experience. Our dedicated team is here to make every visit a win.
Now this is paradise.
This is more than just a place to play.
Now this is paradise.
It's where excitement meets world-class service.
Now this is paradise.
Now this is paradise.
Come, experience it for yourself. Now this is paradise.
Hello, I'm Jerome Sawyer, and thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to hit that subscribe.
Calling all Alive Fiber basketball fans. Get ready to experience the NBA Finals live. You can enter an all-expense-paid trip to not one, but 2 NBA Finals games. It's simple. Just sign up for our Alive NBA League Pass or Infinite Sports X package by May 16th. Stay connected, enjoy blazing fast internet, and score your chance to witness the NBA action up close. Don't miss out. Visit AliveFiber.com and take your shot at NBA glory. Terms and conditions apply. It's good to be alive.
At RBC, we're proud to support Alive's Ultimate Business Makeover campaign for a second year. We know that micro, small, and medium businesses are vital to our economy. They drive innovation, and more importantly, they create jobs. By investing in their growth, we're fostering economic success, and together we can pave the road to a thriving business community.
Welcome to Our Sports, presented by 10th Year Seniors. I'm Ronaldo Dorset. That's John Marknut. Let's do show. The second round is in the book, and we'll recap which Bahamian coaches and players are moving on as the madness continues in the NCAA tournament. In the men's tournament, Mikhail McLean and his third-seeded Kentucky Wildcats are on to the Sweet 16 for the 45th time in program history after an 84-75 win over 6th-seeded Illinois last night at the Lenovo Center in Raleigh, North Carolina. McLean serves as assistant coach on a completely revamped coaching staff and a roster that returns 0 scholarship players from last year. Kentucky faces Tennessee Friday, March 28th at 7:39 p.m. in Indianapolis, Indiana. In the women's tournament, Coach Yo, Rima Collins, and Ole Miss are through to the Sweet 16 for the second time in her tenure at the helm in Oxford, Mississippi. 5th-seeded Ole Miss defeated the 4th-seeded Baylor Bears 69-63 last night at Foster Pavilion in Waco, Texas. They will go on to face the Spokane region's top seed, the UCLA Bruins, on Friday. The time has yet to be determined. Back to the men's tournament, and also in the Midwest region, Brian Clark, assistant strength coach for top-seeded Houston, saw his Cougars advance to the Sweet 16 for the 6th consecutive year. Houston faces 4th-seeded Purdue on Friday at 10:09 p.m. It was an all-wins for the Bahamian contingent. VJ Edgecombe and the Baylor Bears ran into perhaps the most efficient shooting team in the tournament, and it pains me to say this, the Duke Blue Devils. Edgecombe scored 16, but the Bears were eliminated by the Blue Devils 89-66 at the Lenovo Center. The season also concluded for Frederick King and the Creighton Blue Jays in an 82-70 loss to the top-seeded Auburn Tigers Saturday evening at Rupp Arena in Lexington, Kentucky.
There may not be an overall winner at the high school track and field nationals, but SAC won more divisions than any other school. The Big Red Machine captured 5 of the 8 contested divisions at the meet, which concluded Saturday night at the original Thomas A. Robinson Stadium. SAC took first place in the U15 girls with 143 points, the U15 boys with 133 points, the U17 boys with 139 points, the U20 girls with 191 points, and the U20 boys with 146.67 points. The only school and divisions that prevented the sweep were the 2025 BEISS champions Queens College Comets, who won the Under 13 girls division with 114 points and the Under 17 girls division with 199.5 points. Grand Bahamas Sister Mary Patricia Russell won the Under 13 boys division with 83 points.
After the first round of the men's JUCO Division I tournament, one Bahamian is through to the second round, while the other was eliminated in a heartbreaker. Brent Moss and the Barton Community College Cougars advanced to the second round with a 92-62 win over Brunswick Community College. Moss finished with another double-double, 14 points, 10 boards, and 5 assists. Willis Mackey Jr. and Chipola College were eliminated with a 79-78 loss to Monroe. Mackey completed his first season and officially began his coaching career as an assistant coach on the staff of the JUCO powerhouse.
For the first time since he exited the Paris Olympics with an injury, Stephen Gardner is back on the track. Gardner opened his outdoor season at the Hurricane Invitational in Miami, Florida, winning the 300 meters in 31.98 seconds. Also competing at the meet, Charisma Taylor took first place in the 100-meter hurdles in 13.11 seconds. Hurricane sophomore thrower Kalea Jackson finished in third in the discus with a throw of 45.18 meters.
That'll do it for Our Sports. This is 10YS. So when you look at it, Mikhail, Bryan, St. John's, Houston to the NCAA tournament.
Greatest school in Bahamas history?
I mean, if you want to say it, I don't have to. Back to the studio.
And still to come, lies and betrayals to deception and envy coming to the stage of the Regency Theatre. It's a new production called The Night Before, but wait until you hear what else the writer has to say about the production. Plus, it's the start of a new week, and Greg is back with a look ahead at the extended weather forecast. That's coming up when our news returns.
All Alive Fiber basketball fans, get ready to experience the NBA Finals live. You can enter an all-expense-paid trip to not one, but 2 NBA Finals games. It's simple. Just sign up for our Alive NBA League Pass or Infinite Sports X package by May 16th. Stay connected, enjoy blazing fast internet, and score your chance to witness the NBA action up close. Don't miss out. Visit AliveFiber.com and take your shot at NBA glory. Terms and conditions apply. It's good to be alive.
ABC, we're proud to support Alive's Ultimate Business Makeover campaign for a second year. We know that micro, small, and medium businesses are vital to our economy. They drive innovation, and more importantly, they create jobs. By investing in their growth, we're fostering economic success, and together we can pave the road to a thriving business community.
Each week, we go into the heart of our second city and talk to the people helping to shape this community.
This is what makes me happy to come to work every day, to know that I'm helping someone.
These are the faces of the Grand Bahama Port Authority, helping to maintain infrastructure, grow the economy, and bring a better quality of life.
Our mission statement is to better the life.
Because I have to be a part of Grand Bahama.
Join me at Talia Hall every Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. right here on Our News as we share these inspiring stories of Freeport. Stay with the team you already trust.
Bulk up your business and communication with parents, students, and
This is our news. Welcome back. High pressure across our area will slide out towards the east. That's going to be paving the way for a frontal boundary and a thunderstorm complex in the Gulf of Mexico to be approaching us. That front actually extends along the east coast of the United States of America. By Tuesday, we expect the front to be into the northwest Bahamas, bringing us some showers and possibly even an isolated thunderstorms. But in the meantime, there is an upper level disturbance that's going to basically sync with that front, and it's going to actually help to enhance some thunderstorm activity. So we're looking at the possibility for some strong thunderstorms Tuesday night into Wednesday. Most of the activity likely to occur across the central Bahamas, and then eventually as that system pulls out towards the east and away from us, breezy conditions will be behind that as high pressure system builds across the area for the balance of the week. Future forecast showing the moisture associated with that complex in the Gulf of Mexico waning some, but by Tuesday morning we expect the system to be across Florida and into the northwest Bahamas. By Tuesday evening, some showers and thunderstorms possible. Once again, once that system gets into the central Bahamas, likely that we could see some heavy showers and possibly some strong thunderstorms. Boating forecast for the northwest Bahamas tonight through tomorrow. Southeast to south winds 10 to 15 knot, seas running 2 to 4 feet over the ocean. Tide will be low at 10:31 tonight. The high tide takes place at 5 a.m. in the morning. Central and southeast Bahamas, caution flag in place for you guys down there. East to southeast winds 15 to 20 knots, seas running 4 to 7 feet over open waters. Here's a look now at your national forecast. In the extended forecast, showers in the forecast tomorrow. Temperatures will stay in the upper 70s. Then we expect some slight clearing across the northwest Bahamas. Central Bahamas likely to showers. And then by the end of the week, high pressure builds in. Temperatures will be near the 80-degree mark. And then we expect some breezy conditions for the balance of the week. That's a look at our weather. Have a safe night, everybody.
Thanks a lot, Greg. Well, some high 60s there in the forecast. Looking forward to a little bit cooler temperatures later on in the week. Thanks a lot, Greg. Well, it's expected to be a game changer for performing arts students. Starting September, the country's first creative and performing arts school is expected to welcome its first class. The hope is the school provides a fresh avenue for careers in the arts while also helping to diversify the economy. Project manager Ian Poitier telling a news conference today the school is the cornerstone of the orange economy focused on cultural and creative industries.
That we've already started a conversation with BTVI, who provide a lot of those basic training skills. And in our next communication, we'll be able to say more about that partnership. But as Sam says, it means that people will have their training, they can have their day jobs, but when, say, a 3-month, 6-month opportunity comes along, they can say, actually, I'd like to go off and do that. So it's about opening up, not replacing.
Now, the program is to include a 28-week curriculum over 3 terms with 30-plus hours per week of expert-led training. Best of all, there's no charge to attend. Education Minister Glenys Hannah Martin calling it a game changer.
I don't even know what the word is to say how happy I am that we are at this juncture in our country where we are tapping into and building up in the most incredible way the creative ethos of our people. Something that has been quite managed almost in silos, and through this school will blossom in a full way and various pathways.
And finally, it's a classic whodunit with a full serving of twists and turns from the lies and betrayal to deception and envy. Figured it out yet? Well, you'll have to be in Grand Bahama to actually get the answer. The Night Before premieres this week on the stage at the Regency Theatre. Author, actor, and playwright Sulin McCrae promises it will keep audiences on the edge of their seats.
I listen a lot to stories people tell. People love to tell you stories about what happens in their family. And sometimes when they tell you these stories, you get a little germ that turns into a play or a novel. And so this is where you go. You expand on that and you start getting characters. And these characters sometimes take on their own mind and they keep you going. We talk about how family can be jealous of each other. We talk about how there is love all there, but there are other factors that come in and may drive a family apart. And there might be a little bit of murder in this one.
Intrigued yet? Well, the show runs Thursday through Sunday and tickets are already a hot commodity.
We have some really good actors. We have Noella Anderson, Darnell Brown, Demetrius Sherman, Jeffrey Swain, Leopold Wright, Kevin Lockhart, and Treasure. Tickets can be purchased at 17 Shop, Imagine Graphics, and De Gregory's Fine Foods. And tickets are only $30. So this will be a great night out. It's rated T for teen, so anyone 15 and over, we welcome them to come and try and figure out who done it.
Well, it seems like I have another excuse to go to Grand Bahama. That's going to do it for us tonight. Thank you so much for joining us here on Our News. On behalf of the entire team, I'm Jerome Sawyer. We'll see you right back here tomorrow night. Until then, you have yourself a wonderful evening.
Hello, I'm Jerome Sawyer, and thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Now, if you want to continue to receive this great content, be sure and hit that button right over there. And don't forget to turn on your notifications. That way, you continue to get all of this great content from the team you already trust.